honestly, I can't tell if I'm doing this right, and that's just where my life is right now. That just sounds so sad. Okay, let's just learn. The power of learning, I guess. Can I, like, is that a thing I can do? Hold on. That. Hold on. Do that. No. Yes. That, no, of course. No. Of course not, of course not, of course not. I can make that. This stays here. Make sure that works with that. Okay. This kind of works. Boop. I'm learning.
To meet the rest of it. To meet the back.
Guys, I'm learning.
And then if I turn this off.
Wait a second, hold on. God damn it, I turned this thing off and I don't know how to turn it back on. This sucks. What am I doing again? This is, no, I was right, okay. No, see, I'm overthinking this stuff now. This goes here, that is where this is gonna go here, for that will also go here, just because we can. Ooh, except this is that, but this gets to hide there, but I need this there. I don't need it on my butt. On my buttocks. Is it obvious that I don't know what I'm doing?
You can see we got a nice cleaner shape now that gets darker in the back. And that's much better than our old choker, and it uses less geometry, but this guy still doesn't look great.
Oops.
So how do I want to handle you? Wait, are you also your own texture? Are you also your own freaking texture? 18. Ah! See, it's its own goddamn texture. So dumb. So... Oh, that's right. I had to stretch this image to make it look kind of right in Vroid. So I'm just going to actually go grab the original asset I had for this from the live 2D version of her. Here it is. I'm just going to grab this image real quick. Copy. Go back to this texture and I'll make it part of this. And it can be nice and big to make sure it's high res. Oops. Merge that down so it's okay saving it as a PNG. And I'm gonna go back and go back to 50, or was it 16? Which one? 15. And image reload. And now this geometry is poopy butts. We really just need one rectangle that represents this guy, because we don't want it to bend or deform because it's like a metal thing. So I am actually going... How do I want to handle that? So I'm going to select all of these and choose... Oh, first I will choose Loop Tools, Flatten. So this will kind of give it a flat shape that's, you know, like the best one that it can try to make from all the various edges that you've chosen. So now this is a flat shape. Now what happens if I just say Dissolve Edges, I wonder?
Why is it bad to have so many textures?
Yeah, perfect. It's just one weird shape now. It's beautiful.
It's disgusting.
I'm gonna just move this over. I'm gonna just make it more the actual shape that I would want to fit the cherry in. Oh, making sure it doesn't overlap the sky.
Right, this is where I stopped paying attention.
Here, I'm gonna snap to symmetry. Have I talked about snap to symmetry yet? I hit F3 and I chose snap to symmetry, and that
Did I
makes it, you know, like it tries to make it symmetrical. It can get confused with more complex geometry, but if you ever have something that looks like it's symmetrical or you want to be more symmetrical, you can choose snap to symmetry, and you need to be careful with it, but it can help a lot, especially if something like it isn't working with symmetrical editing and you can't tell quite why. You can choose snap to symmetry. So now it's a little symmetrical rectangle. It's about at the place I want it. So I'm just going to UV unwrap, and of course that gives me a big rectangle, and right now it's still on image 18, so I'm going to tell it to look at image 15 instead. And then of course when we look at this, it's gonna look ridiculous.
I get it for the
I
most
think
part.
you're
I'm
bigger
just
on
trying to
top.
figure
Yeah.
it out. I don't know, because for the model I
Lining
have,
it up.
so it doesn't have like
I'm
small
sizing it
parts
down.
like this, although I can see how it works, you know?
Oh, that's right. I probably want to
it's
make
the
this a bit
glasses.
wider than it actually is.
That texture is
Let's see though.
fuller, I guess.
So
Yeah.
if I want to give it more space on those sides, you want to make sure to use slide instead of this, because like if you just try to use G to move it, you'll see it stretches the whole thing. Though there is an option for that. Their correct face, what is this? Correct face attributes here in tool. I believe, yeah, now if I press G and move it, it won't fuck with it. It won't fuck with the texture. So you might or might not want to have those on that setting checked to bending. Oh, but I'm going to check symmetrical editing here so that it makes both equally big. And then we have a much nicer, just flat image that's not all weirdly curved around in a way that it shouldn't be. And that cleaned up that a lot. So I'll do like the same kind of thing to a lot of these pieces. So like here you can see that we've got a lot of extra space down here, and these lines are almost enough to cover this stuff. They just don't quite go down far enough. So I'm going to select edge loops and edge slide, and I'm going to slide them down to where they cover everything I need them to down here. And you can see now that they are below all of the actual drawn on stuff. So now I can safely delete these. There's probably a smarter way. And that saves on some faces and just makes it look a bit nicer and easier to understand. And then of course if I wanted to, I could go in here and try to line these up better and maybe actually make them reflect the geometry implied by the folds by pulling some out a bit. But that's not what we're focusing on right now. We're focusing on cleaning shit up. So I guess that's also an aspect of cleaning shit up. You know what? Let's fuck with it a bit. I realize that these tutorials are very unfocused, but that's because there's a lot you can do. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to select this.
Alright, not the fold.
Oh,
Alright,
first
so the
I'm going
fold
to
are
hit
not
L,
something I need right now.
250, moving them together. But so now I'm going up and not off, and then into 2A. You're gonna want to use this guy, proportional edit. Oh, do that.
Funny.
I need to move to this edge that I don't want to use proportional editing is back here. Get them in the right place. And then I am going to use loop tools to select this mostly hidden edge loops. I don't want to include you. Oops. And I'm going to choose relax on that. Forgot to whole other thing, but that's a way that you can change the wait, let's hide the jacket. How's this geometry looking? Pretty fucking weird if you ask me. Pretty fucking weird.
It's alright, so at some point I just ended up
Slide.
skipping like a full portion. So that
And
I'm
slide you
pretty
down.
okay with now.
Go ahead, slide you down. And then you
Yes,
all
I
just
think so, anyway.
vertex slide. Find where to see. Slide you down.
That I need to fix, but at the current
And
moment,
then
I think
I'm
it's
gonna
fine.
make this match this actual edge for me. And a nice thing
You know what,
about
I
like
could
if
make
you
it all
make
one
these
texture,
actually match is you can
but
make
I'm
a
not
cleaner
there yet,
delineation between things.
because I don't know why I
Here,
should.
let me get this decent.
I guess that's what
Yeah.
made me an asshole.
So
Anything else?
I'm gonna select all of this edge. I'm not using edge loops because it wants to select all of
That's
that
fine.
in this instance.
That's fine. That's fine.
So I'm just selecting these edges manually. And I'm going to relax.
Almost there, buddy. Almost there.
And I'm going to choose flatten under loop tools so that they all line up now. And if I go over to UV editing, sometimes UV editing you have to update to show what you're actually working on by refreshing or hitting Q or whatnot. If I select these faces now, I can see how they look here. And it's a little bit of a mess. You can see that they don't quite line up straight. So I could re-unwrap them, or I can just go in here and select these vertices and right-click, align horizontally. And now that these are on a nice horizontal line on our texture. And so if I do the same thing up here, we can align these guys horizontally. We have a nice like sharp line between these two things instead of, you know, it being just like messy drawing stuff. And it's always nice and clean, and then you don't have to deal with texture resolution problems if the, you know, delineation is actually working based on the edges. Oh, that's where I beveled it, so it's a little weird looking. Yeah, you can see there it is. So I might just have to tell it, you know what, you just go down there. Yeah. Parts, I'll align certain parts, I'll make them into cleaner UVs, and I will, you know, get rid of some materials. Like, okay, so these two materials, so we still have these two materials, but they don't actually need to be separate materials anymore because they're using the same texture as this guy. So this texture is what, top Clotho 2. So I'm going to go into our object with our choker. And look at our materials. And you can see all these materials are still on the choker. But Top Cloth 02 is the one that I actually want to be the material for everything. So I'm going to make sure this is all selected. And then I'm going to go to Top Cloth 02 and assign. And that way all of this is officially just this material. And the rest of the materials, if I go back out into object mode, I can get rid of them. And you can see if I get rid of Top Cloth 02, now it's invisible, because that's the one it's actually using. And it's not using any of these anymore. And same on this thing, it probably still has the materials that I no longer need from that. Which is unfortunate, because then it's like I have to find where was that one, where was that shit. Is Top Cloth 01? Yes. You one piece thing. Get out of here. And now that no objects are using that material, I can go to File, Clean Up, Recursive Unused Data Blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see it says Purging 8 unused data blocks, 2 no groups, 2 images, 4 materials. Click here to proceed. And if I do that, then it'll go ahead and delete the images and materials. Otherwise, it will keep them in there kind of like just in case. But now those are materials that no longer exist. If we go back to the UV editing, that image 17 and 18 are no longer in there. So for the sake of things like VR chat that get mad if you have too many materials, we now have 2 fewer materials, and we've lost nothing in the process. So that's like the
Now
general
that makes
process
sense.
I'll use
Okay.
for saving on materials is just, bringing the textures into one big texture and deleting the materials I no longer need. I actually could have skipped a step if I, instead of reassigning the images here, I had just found the correct material and chosen assign. Oops.
That's good to know.
That's what I
That's
should have
good.
done instead. I mean, the result is the same in the end, but oops. The one reason you might want to keep them separate, though, like separate materials, but pointing to the same image, is say, that's why I have 3 materials on Melanie, on me, but only 1 image because, so like on here, on Melanie, I have eye, skin, and upper, and those are separated into different materials even though they point to the same image, because when I use shading, which I don't always do, but sometimes I have shading on things, I want the eyes to be less affected by the shading than, my skin and stuff, so that, the eyes are always bright. And so they're kept on their own material. So I can have different settings because there's various material settings, rim highlights, outlines, all that stuff. So you can have multiple different materials that all point to the same images. Or same image. And that way you don't have to have, more images than you need. But in this case, these things, I don't want them to have any other material properties. I might eventually make the cherry, like fancier and make it actually like metal and give it proper geometry rather than just being a flat image. But for now, it's just a flat image, just like everything else. So I can keep it on the same material as everything else.
Okay, so that's fine. Okay. Alright, so what I'm understanding is I can at least change the textures later on. Right? At least I got the base geometry where it needs to be, which is good. Also, I realized. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Not that. Yeah, that's that. This is this. Okay. Okay. That's not confusing at all. But whatever. Huh. Oh shit. What am I doing? Fuck. Okay.
And so that's a lot of the kind of stuff I do, redrawing things that I need to, moving around how stuff is attached to different rectangles, that kind of thing. Oh, if you look at this, you can see that it got it a little wrong in terms of putting the triangles into quadrilaterals. I'm going to use K for knife. I'm going to use the knife, and I'm going to click from this vertex to this vertex and hit enter, and that has knifed that. So then I can select these 2 edges and dissolve them. So for stuff like that, I would just K, dissolve. And now obviously I get very anal about these, and I will spend way too long trying to make everything into lovely triangles. You don't need to do that for most purposes. That's just how I flow, man. I'm just like, look at that. This could be a rectangle. Why is it not a rectangle when it could be a rectangle? So when I come back for the next version of this tutorial, I'll have probably fucked around with a lot of this geometry, made it into pretty rectangles, gotten rid of various transparent areas, and maybe moved around some things to try to be a little more 3-dimensional in that way. And I think next time we might tackle the hair a little more, the terrifying hair,
I don't want
and maybe even touch the face, the
No.
scary face. Oh, and I will want to talk about how to fill in these holes. So, because you know, like there's a lot of these gaps that you end up with in Vroid, and I created even bigger ones by, like, I deleted her crotch because I don't think we're gonna need any of that. I'm going to create a shape here that will hide it, but that'll be for next time.
That's so sad.
I think there's enough bullshit that I threw at the wall here for this time. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is helpful to someone. And thank you very much for watching this if you watched it. And I'll see you next time.
No problem. Okay, I do want to fix some things up before I do anything else. What the fuck is this? Stop it. That. There you go. No, it's something. I can't stop that off. What the fuck off with that? What am I doing? Shut up. I mean, this is just the base of it, honestly. I still need to figure out what is and what isn't an important foot, if that makes any sense. Now, let's start fixing some geometry. Stop it. Like I know anything, which I don't. Doing that. Let's see if I can properly remember how to do all this. But she's right, geometry based wise, there's like so much bullshit I gotta get to. Why does it sound like he's saying Luke? That's confusing. I don't really love how this looks, but I also don't not like it. That's confusing. What if I just like... I don't know. It just looks off. Yeah, but then I look at this and like, I don't even know how to fix any of this shit.
Oh, curiosity striking me. Interesting. Why go then doing it? Then again, I don't really know what I'm trying to do. Stop it. Do 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 do. That's weird. Do that, get that. Interesting. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm confusing myself. I think as I keep going, I think I'll develop like an eye for this type of stuff. Yeah. The current moment, I'm just confused. I think I'll focus on what I know for now, and then hopefully I'm able to somehow fix all this bullshit. Fat doesn't. What the? Oh, I know. This one? Oh yeah. That makes sense. Still don't know what to do for this. I think I should just let it go. What are you? I can't. I fucking can't right now. I think let's just do like the really small one too. I think that's what's smart. And yeah. Yeah, I still don't get it. It's just, it feels like it's, I don't know. I have no idea what I'm looking at. And I partially made it. Fingers. Oh boy. Alright, let's start the next video. I'm way too confused. Motherfucker. Motherfucker. What's the difference? Motherfucker, what's the difference? Okay. Uh-huh. What's... Motherfucker. You cheap motherfucker, what's the difference? Huh? Oh, you cheap motherfuckers. Okay. Get off, get off, get off, get off, get off. What do you want from my goddamn life? Okay. Okay. I don't fucking get it. There's just some things I will never understand. Your guy would make this shoes. Oh god. Okay. Look, it's a lot better than where we started. I'll give you that much. But damn. And I thought I was doing a nice thing, you know, cutting off all the excess, but no. That's a bad thing. I understand nothing, and I will continue to understand nothing until shit happens. Okay, in the meantime, though. Okay. Can we... Alright, we gotta go back. So... Yeah. Continuing on with the video. Shit, which one am I at? God damn it. My god.
Welcome back to part 3 of From Vroid to Blender. That's what I call this, right? Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
So today I'm going to do my best to be a bit more focused on what exactly we're doing. And in this case, that's going to be symmetrical editing and closing up those gaps in your model so you can't see, you know, into the inside of your textures and stuff. So let's do those things. Oh, and I have messed with my rig a bit in the meantime. So you can see, like, if I hide my jacket, I have made the geometry of this part a bit cleaner and made some more lines so these can line up. I undid the pleat. I don't want to mess with pleating the whole thing right now yet. I decided fuck it. So yeah, it looks a little bit different from last time, but not a whole lot. So here's the thing. Besides this skirt detail, most of this whole rig is symmetrical. And obviously how much of your rig is symmetrical will vary. A lot of them won't be as symmetrical as this gal, but you can always separate out the objects that are symmetrical in order to use what we're about to do, which is the mirror modifier.
God.
Now, there are certain things that can happen with the mirror modifier that are fucked. And so we'll see if we have some of those errors, and then we can cover how to fix them. But if you try to use the mirror modifier with an armature, ideally, if everything goes right, it will automatically mirror your bones so that if, you know, like these bones are weighted to the L and these bones are weighted to the R, or is it the opposite? Wait, that one's L and that one's R. So if you have all your settings right, if you create a mirror modifier piece of geometry that's rigged to an armature.
Actually, I think I'll do this tomorrow. I'm actually tired. I just want to go to bed. Okie dokie. That's a good test. I think I made sure this was nice. Oosh. I'm sleepy. Oh well. Ooh. Bye bye.